Trinkfluss.
Trinkfluss, yes.
Yeah. And you already touched on the quality or the healthiness of the grapes. And I think in your case, we must talk about biodynamics and how you treat the wines in the vineyard, and also about the fruit quality. So how do you think, or what is the best method or approach to bring the healthiest grapes to express this complexity and also the terroir in the Mosel?
That's a good question, and there is not really an answer. I think for us it's so important to have a good life, also with the wines, with the vineyards. And if I was young, I'm in the vineyard all the time, in the vineyard and in the cellar. But in the cellar, there is not a lot of work, also up to now. No? So in the cellar, the spontaneous fermentation happens, and it needs 5, 6 months, sometimes longer, sometimes 2 years, and it happens. And we don't influence it, and how it happened, we respect it. That's our thing. But the main part of our work, of our life, happens in the vineyard. And for me, it's so great to see how the wines are growing, what happens if I give a little help sometimes. And I think if you do this, and if you are open, if you have an open mind and feeling for the wines, that I would like to explain, a big respect for this plant. That's important. And it's so important to understand it. And yeah, and then it's no problem to get good wines. Sometimes people, also other winemakers, are visiting me and they ask me, there must be special secret for this, to make wines like this. Special reception, and I think there is no reception. My reception is to do nothing in the vinification, and the main work does the wines, and they do a good job. And our part is to make the harvest in the perfect time, and to look what happens in the harvest, in the ripeness of the grapes. That's not easy. Sometimes the time window is very short, so we need a lot of pickers in this time. And also it's not easy to work with 30 people in the steep slopes, but we practice it. And so most time we are perfect in time. And yeah, and the other thing is also in the vineyard, for us, it's so helpful. You need to understand that we started working organically nearly 40 years before. I started to stop working without herbicides in 1976. So we have a good mix from herbs in the vineyard, and they are really good for the microclimate also. And so we have also yeah, a good situation for the yeast, and that is a speciality of our wines. I think when people discuss, if they spoke about our wines, they discuss Clemens Busch doesn't make Mosel style. He has a Busch-Style, his own style. And so I'm very proud to hear this. I don't like to copy other producers. I'm not J.J. Brum, I'm not Egon Müller, I'm Clemens Busch. Yeah, I have my own style.
I think that's one of the best praise as well, because I mean, I'm a sommelier, and I had also, so to say, the heroes in the industry when they are really good at blind tastings, and they can identify that, okay, this is a Mosel Riesling from 94. But I would say that this is very interesting and also very important, how people can identify certain styles and link it to the terroir and vintage. But I would say that blind tastings, or just to make wine for blind tasting, so to say, or just to copy a certain style, just to appeal in this kind of image, it's not the best expression of terroir and character. And that's why I also got in contact with you, because that was very sympathetic what I read also in Romana's book about you and your approach about characterful wines, and also what is actually terroir driven wines. And if you are not talking about at least organic viticulture, how can you talk about actually terroir driven wines, or to express the terroir and your unique GGs, or not even GGs, but your unique characteristics what you have in the vineyard. And I can only agree to that. So can you maybe tell us about your evolution, or kind of revolution maybe also, in the Mosel? How did you get from the middle of the 70s till 2020, and from organic to biodynamics?